Alright guys, hello and welcome to Unzipped on SceneOneTV, or rather say SceneOneTV's Unzipped, because this is a segment where we get to unfold, unleash, and of course release when it comes to sex, love, and of course marriage. In as much as some of us are not married, but we tend to learn from this thing. Alright, so today is another episode that's quite interesting and coming from last week's review. And of course, we have someone we had the last time, which is making this very up wavy. What was that thing people say? On a wavy level. All right, guys, I have the guests, but I'll have to show our guests to you when we come back from a break. And don't go nowhere. I am Mortified Pappy, and this is Unzipped on SceneOneTV. Alright guys, welcome back. It's still Unzipped on SceneOneTV. I am Mortified Pappy, and well, today, in as much as I don't have an idea, I'm so curious to learn. So we have, she's already laughing. We have our health therapist, because now I think I practically know what everything she does.
Sex educator.
Okay, sex educator,
sex
health educator, sex coach. She's also a therapist, like when it comes to like sex and all of these things, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So which other one again? Like a whole lot of these things. You know what she'll say the other
Your
part.
resident sex expert.
That sounds very good.
Yep.
All right. So
This
day is here again.
Hi guys.
How are you?
Fine,
Good to have
thank
you
you.
again.
Good to be here.
After that, long talk and every. But anyway, today's one is going to be different.
Okay.
So today we're talking about sex and marriage. Yeah. So I'm sure now a lot of you will be interested to hear this one. For those that are married, and of course for those that are not even married, because someday somehow you are going to get married. So of course you need to hear everything we have to say or talk about. So today I'm not married though, because of course
I'm married.
She's married. She's married with a beautiful girl. Yes, of course. Like when I heard she's 15 months, sounded like a good prospect. Like my future wife is just arriving. Because you're going to wait now. I'm not even done talking. Because you're going to train her and expose her to things that
Please, you're too old for her. Don't let her father even. No, please. Thank you. No, thank you.
Anyways, how's she doing?
She's good. Thank you. She's doing great.
All right. So, sex and marriage.
Okay. What can we say about sex and marriage? I think sex in marriage is very, very vital. Okay. It is one of the prongs on which marriage stands. There's a spiritual aspect where you, if you're a person of faith and you believe that, it is the man, the woman, and God together in that union, the man and the woman coming together to become one. Okay. And part of what makes them become one is sex. I mean, there's an emotional, because sex is not just physical, it's emotional, it's mental, it's a spiritual connection between the man and the woman. Okay. Right? And so in marriage, it's so important, it's so key. If you're having great sex in your marriage, it probably means that you're communicating well. It means that you are, relating well. It means that a lot of other aspects of your marriage and your relationship are doing great. Well. And if you're not having great sex, you probably may be having some underlying issues with communication, with intimacy and all that. And then if you're not having any sex at all, then there's some
like big problem.
It means that you have issues. There's some people that say, oh no, it doesn't matter, we have sex only once a month.
Okay. And I think we even come to that aspect where how much sex we're supposed to have.
There's no real formula.
How much in a day or in a week, in a month.
I think it's on a personal level. There's no formula. There's no rule that says you should have sex once a week, 5 times a week, 3 times a week. Between the husband and the wife, they get into a rhythm and they get into a flow, and they now get to a point where 3 days a week is fine for us, 2 days a week is fine for us, 5 days a week is fine for us, or every day is fine for us. Not necessarily a schedule, but you fall into some type of rhythm. Because in a lot of times in marriages and relationships in general, one person has a higher sex drive than the other.
Is that always, there's no balance?
You don't meet a lot of couples where they both have the same level of sexual energy. So sometimes the man is more interested in sex than the woman, and sometimes the woman is the one who has a higher sex drive
I think
than the
think
man.
that's better. The woman having it.
Really?
It's like it's a very.
But then think about this. If the woman has a higher sex drive, or even the man, whoever has a higher sex drive. No, that's not necessarily true now. Just because somebody has a higher sex drive doesn't mean that they want to have sex with anything or anybody.
Okay, that's
it means that they have a high libido and they want to have sex with their person more. Generally, that's generally what it means. So it just means, but sometimes when one partner has a higher sex drive and then the other one doesn't, there can be feelings of rejection sometimes because, one person will initiate and the other person will say, not today, or I have a headache, I'm just tired, can we do it again? Can we try again tomorrow or something? And then the person who initiates might start to get, if that happens often enough, the person who initiates can start to get a bit discouraged. But at the same time, the person who doesn't really care for sex as much might also feel like, but is it food? So you now have to come to a balancing point, So it's like somebody starts one person's at 20, the other person's at 90. Maybe you guys can come at maybe 45, 50. Okay. It means that the person with the low has come up, the person with the high has. So you come to that's why communication is key. You need to communicate.
But I want to bring it to this question for people that have certain beliefs. Like some people grew up knowing that you have to have it in a particular way, which is, of course, the missionary. Then some people also have believed that, there's nothing like head. Don't give head. That's very dirty. That's this. And on and on. I'm sure
As a good thing that you should have sex only at night in the dark.
Yeah.
When we're younger or as we grow up, we absorb a lot of things, right? So as we become older, these limiting beliefs, we call them, in coaching, they will say limiting beliefs, they kind of hold you back from doing certain things because you believe that this thing is wrong, this thing is, should not be done. Some people believe that they should only have sex at night in the dark. If if you haven't closed all the covers, if you're not under the covers and closed all the curtains, they won't have sex.
Some people believe it has to be under the covers.
Some people believe it. And when you used to watch Nigerian movies back in the day, you remember when they want to have sex, they'll just cover up. So maybe some people believe that that's how it should be done. That's how it should be done. So, and people that believe that, BJ's blowjobs are dirty, or cunnilingus, that's give oral sex for a woman on a woman is dirty or is wrong and it's immoral and all of these things. What I would say a lot of times is usually if the both of you have no problem with it, then you're fine. But most of the time it's usually that one person wants it and the other person doesn't.
Because one's already exposed to it, especially all the guys, all the men are exposed
to it.
Even
there's some women, how about women who want their men to give them oral sex and the man is saying, me? I can't put my mouth there.
Well, from a standpoint, I would say some people have experiences to maybe down there being dirty. So
it's a question, but it's a question of communication. So maybe you don't say, no, I don't do it. You say, in the past, I've not found it an enjoyable experience because maybe it was smelling, or maybe, I didn't like it because of this. So then it's now up to the person that you're with to now say, okay, so if you think it's a question of hygiene, I'm quite clean, I wash, and blah, 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 and then you guys discuss it. So that then you now be like, okay, then maybe it's a question of before you have sex, because it's not so much, usually it's not a matter of hygiene. Everybody has body odor. Your body smells a certain way. If you've been out all day, right, and you come home and you guys maybe about to have sex at 8 p.m. and you haven't showered, there's a certain way a guy and a woman would smell, right? But so if that's the case, then you communicated that, so you're both aware that, okay, let's shower before we have sex. And so that way, you're both...
Some men are actually very spontaneous. They don't remember that shower. Go straight to it.
Then if that's the case, though, and your woman is saying, and then you want her to give you a blowjob, right? But then she's saying, look, I don't like it because you're sweaty and it smells like, then you want to be cognizant of that, and then you say, okay, I'm going to... If that's what's going to take for you to give me a blowjob, I will take a shower. You
I think
understand? And then so the whole thing is just communication. You guys talk, and it's not about saying that, oh, you do this, you do that. You know, you use a lot of I statements, not you. So instead of saying you smell, you say I'm not very comfortable with this.
It doesn't cause
So
like an issue.
it becomes more about you and not the person, and then you're giving the person a chance. They don't feel like they're being threatened, and so they're not pulling up all their barriers and all of that, and so they're more likely to say, okay, you know what, let me try this. And you don't just jump into the deep end. You know, someone that doesn't want to give a blowjob, you're not all of a sudden one day just going to go learn about blowjobs and start giving blowjobs. You know, you first start getting used to seeing the penis in the light. You know, get a bit more comfortable with touching it.
Play with daddy.
You know, if that's what you, if that's your thing, but it doesn't have to be like, you know, I'm not very, you know, personally, the whole, you know, daddy and sex thing, I don't.
You don't agree with it?
No, because
because it makes them think,
you have a daddy, and then someone is, it kills the mood.
Does papi sound?
Papi could be good if it's okay for the person, but you have to remember that, like, that whole, like, you know, now you just brought, it's like someone calling. Imagine you thinking about your mom during sex. What's that going to do to you?
Yeah, that's all.
Exactly. It's the same. It's the same.
No, but it just came and it flashed.
Thank you. So that is how, for a lot of people, I think personally, I'm like, no, please don't. Let's not bring our parents into this matter. Let's keep them outside.
Let's keep them there.
Exactly. But I think that communication, communicate. It is the key to any functional relationship, highly functional relationship. If you guys communicate, you're going to be able to communicate in the bedroom. So you guys are, you know, you're in bed, you know, and stuff is going on. Maybe you're about to penetrate and it hurts. Maybe it hurts the woman because maybe she's a bit dry. So it's like, it's okay to say, babe, pause for a second. I think I might be a bit dry. Maybe I'm not as lubricated, I'm not as wet. Why don't we use some lubrication? You know, so you get some lube and you add it to it and you continue going. Like, the problem we have is that, you know, movies tell you that this is how sex should be, that it's just this smooth journey, you know, where both partners know exactly what to do at the exact right time and all that. And that's not how life is. That's not how sex in real life is. You know, it's a lot of moments where, you know, maybe instead of the penis going into the vagina, it kind of wants to slip into the anus and like, oh, whoa, slow down. You know, but you should be able to laugh. But if you guys are cool, right, and you guys are charming, you should be able to laugh about these things and then say, ha, 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 look at that, and then you continue. Not where you're like, oh my God, when you are so stressed, when there's so much tension and anxiety, you know, when that happens, you're like, oh my God, you wanted to go to the, oh my God, relax. Sex should be fun.
It brings me to this other question, which is, this one is very interesting.
Okay.
We're talking about missionary. I'm like, what other? Right now, I'm thinking of other positions I don't even know. I know there's spoon and fork. Let's talk about other styles that people could venture into.
Okay. You can, there's what we call the cowgirl, which is the woman on top.
We could give an illustration, but sorry guys.
No, just imagine.
There's no
the woman, practice your partner. Woman on top, you know. So that's the woman on top. The man is lying down, facing up, and the woman sits on top, facing him. But then there's also called the reverse cowgirl, where the woman is backing him, still on top, but backing him. You know, there's doggy, where the woman is on her knees, and the man enters from behind.
It's not. A picture just came to my head, and where I wanted to start howling.
I don't know why, but for me, like, it's not. I'm not really sure that sex is to be kiki. Like, you know, because it's serious business. You know. That's what and I think, and I encourage everyone to go and gain as much information as you can. You know, there are quite a number of, you know, sex educators on Instagram, on Twitter. You know, there's a lot of information out there that you can go and find legit information, not necessarily porn, because a lot of people think that porn is the only way you can learn. It's the only way you can learn about sex. But porn is idealized. It's not real life, you know. But when you start to look into the realm of sex education and sex coaching, you find out that you can learn. And there are a lot of books. a lot of books, legit books that are not, you know, with
Sutra
diagrams and all that. You can, you know, the Kama Sutra and all of that, and learn, seek. I'm a big believer in seeking knowledge, you know, and even the missionary position. There's not just one way where, you know, the woman just lies there and the man is on top and all that. You know, you can put your legs up, you know, the woman can wrap her legs around the man's waist. She can put her legs around his. She can put her legs around his shoulder. She can put one leg around. You know, there's just
one person.
One person. But what I'm trying to say is that there are different. There's so many positions. There's no hard or fast rule that you have to do it this way. And you are both participants. You know, a lot of us, especially women, have been taught that just lie down there and the guy will know what to do. Be an active participant. You know, you go on. It's your pleasure. Take it. You know, and men also should not just be just about for their own pleasure.
Yeah, so that's like, you read my mind. Like I was coming to the pleasure part. Right? Oh, take. So I'm coming to the pleasure part. How can each other find like a balance to satisfying each other? Because before now, while we're behind the scene, we're talking about what's it called? 2 Indomie men. But anyways, when we come back from this break, we'll round up with that and we'll end the show. Don't go nowhere, guys. Alright guys, welcome back. It's still SceneOneTV's Unzipped, and right now we are talking about sex in marriage. Trust me, we can't even see everything practically because we do not have that much time. Normally our show is like 15 minutes, but we exceeded some time out of this. Now back to the pleasure part, finding a balance in pleasure for those that are 2-minute men and all of these things. So what would you say to that, and how would you advise people to get out of that?
I challenge you to set a timer once, just to see how long.
I've done it plenty
from penetration.
Yeah, apparently, yes, I have.
Okay, I'm not going to ask you on camera how long you went for. But what I'm just trying to say is that when other things come into play, when there's a lot of, you know, foreplay and all of that, so that, you know, another reason why is that when you do that, the woman will then be properly lubricated. She will be wet. And so sex is enjoyable for her and for you. Because if a lot of guys think, okay, I kiss her, I press her nipples for 30 seconds and then she should be ready to go. Most times not. Women are not ashamed like that. Sometimes, I mean, you have quickies where, you know, you're both just really aroused and you just want to go. But for the most part, you know, it takes time. It takes a lot of pleasuring her. So if you then get her to the point where she's like, you know, all ready and wet and all that, then she's not going to mind that it was 8 minutes, because you've really had in total, we're talking 30 minutes or an hour of, you know.
So foul play has actually done the basic work of getting her ready.
Because it's also sex, you know, oral sex is sex as well. You know, when you're giving a hand job, it's sex. When a man is using his fingers, you know, to digitally masturbate his woman, it's sex. It's all part of. It's not, penetration is not the only part of sex. All of that. A lot of people believe
that. So ladies, I think I hear that. So don't always think once the man just go, that's surely. You should 8 minutes, maybe I'll come there. Okay, I would like to go on and on and on because this is practically interesting. But I think we have to come to the end of tonight's show. It was really interesting. Thank you for staying for this.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
I've learned a whole lot, and I'm sure you guys have. If you haven't, please just keep playing over and over again until you've picked from the beginning, middle, and
and you can always follow me on.
Yeah, don't come to that.
You can always follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I am at Olori Coitus. That is OLORI COITUS.
So you can just slide into the DM and ask all your questions.
And you know, take any of my classes. I have sexpert sessions for bridal showers, for people that are getting married. I do private one-on-one coaching for married people, for singles, for people that are about to be married as well, and just the whole.
And for the 3 minutes, man, you guys too can also come for this. It's not exclusive to me.
You can learn how to, you know, extend your time.
I'm sure there are fruits and other things that do.
Yeah, and even actual practical things that people can do. Practical steps you can take to actually extend your time.
Nice. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. It's been you know, Unzipped, on SceneOneTV. We talk about love, sex, and of course, marriage, and a whole lot more. All right, thank you so much, guys. See you next time. I remain World Fight Happy.
Bye.
Bye.